I started meditating about 30 years ago. I learned my first meditation techniques from my first martial arts teacher. So the single pointed mind meditation technique is a very powerful concentration technique for meditation. And it involves concentrating on particular chakras. And the chakras are energy centers in our energy body. Not only do you develop concentration and the ability to hold your mind still, but once you become adept at this particular meditation technique on the chakras, you can raise the Kundalini energy. And the Kundalini energy is a very powerful energy of transformation.
Welcome back to day 25. We are at day 25 already, my friends. Can you believe it? How far we've come, and time just flies, doesn't it? So I want to just give a shout out. What's up, team meditation? You come here every day, and what do you want? What do you want out of this? Hey, Ashley, always good to see you, my friend. So what is it that you want? Just finding this. Hey, Melissa. Hey, welcome. Stick around. We come on every day because we're expecting to find out something that we didn't know before, I think. We're expecting to learn something that we didn't know before. And that's a good reason. That's a good reason to join a meditation group. It's a good reason to meditate every day. And I talk about this very often when you begin your meditation practice. What we want to do is we want to begin each meditation session, each day, with no expectations, as if it were brand new. And I've talked about this before. It's called Zen mind, beginner's mind. What is Zen mind? It's approaching each and every moment as if it were new, the very first time. And because if we don't, all of our expectations will create our experience. All of our judgments will create our experience. All of our thinking will create, will modify, will filter our experience through our expectations, our judgments. So when you're meditating, here's a pro tip. Don't judge the meditation while you're doing it. Because then you wouldn't be meditating then, would you? Oh, silly me. And, this is just an important thing, because if you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I'm thinking too much, I can't focus today. Well, yes, then you're not focusing. We gotta silence this little voice in our heads, don't we? This freaking little voice that gets in our heads and starts to tell us what to do, starts to dictate our lives. Who are you to tell me what to do, little voice? Well, that little voice is part of you. It's your doubts, your worries, your fears, your ego, your shadow. But it's also the voice of others. It's also the voice of everyone that you've ever encountered. We're just an accumulation, an amalgamation of all the things we've ever encountered. You ever meet somebody that you really kind of like, and you start to talk like them, you start to act like them, or you watch a movie and you start to take on that accent? I don't know about you, but this happens to me all the time. Because we're no one. And I think deep down in our hearts we know that we're just copying. Is there really anything that's original? And I say all this to remind you to be humble, to be free of being anybody. It's when we think we're a person, a personality, that we get caught. Now, what does this have to do with meditation? Well, when we sit down to meditate, It's very important to let go of all ideas, of all preconceptions, of all concepts, of who and what we are and who and what we're doing. The thing that I try to remember during meditation is that I'm just pure consciousness. I'm awareness, or I'm just my attention. Because if you look at awareness, if you look at attention, if you look at consciousness, does it have a name other than the name that we're labeling it as? Does it have a face? Does it have a history? Does it have a personality? No, this is just pure energy. Pure energy. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Pure energy, man. Pure energy is free, isn't it? It's free to be anybody. You know, it's funny. I think people are afraid to lose their egos because they don't know who they'll be without it. They're afraid to let go of the control. This is the biggest fear of most people, is the fear of death. Because when we die, we all say, oh, I'm not afraid of death. Oh, okay. No, come on, let's face it. We're afraid of losing control because this is all we know. We can get up, we can control our bodies, hopefully. We can get up, we can choose which breakfast cereal we like, or we're about to eat. Do you like Cocoa Puffs or Cap'n Crunch? I'm more of a Cocoa Krispies fan, but that's just me. So this illusion of choice creates, oh man, I don't know about you, but do you hate menus when there's too much choice? I like to just have like minimal choice, because when there's too much choice, man, my ADD kicks in. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to choose. Just a side note. But this illusion of choice is an illusion because, well, let me think about what I'm about to say here. Let me think about what do I really want to say here. What I want to say here is, how are you guys doing? How's your meditation? How can I help you? I can go off on a million different tangents. I can rant and rave all day. But is that really serving you? Where are your struggles in meditation? Is it sitting down to meditate every day? Is it finding the motivation to even do that? Is it struggling with an overactive mind? Is it being consistent with your meditation practice? What is it that I can help you with? Overcoming the tendencies of mind. This is why I bring to you this meditation practice. Because it's the tendencies of mind. It's the overactive mind. Motivation and cannot silence the mind. Yes, perfect. Well, you're in the right place, Melissa. So, this is why I come on here, to help motivate you. Yes, knowing we should do it, but just finding that motivation. Well, the solution that I've come, and thank you so much for asking the questions and participating, because that really helps me, because otherwise I'll just sit here and talk. Ashley knows. I'll talk here for an hour about nothing. But we will get to the guided meditation momentarily. I think part of motivating and sticking to a routine is just that, is to create a time that we do it every day. I like to insert my meditation practice in the morning. This is my morning, believe it or not. And I wake up, have breakfast, have a cup of coffee, take a shower, and then meditate. That's the morning routine before I do anything. So if, obviously we're in a unique circumstance right now where we probably have more time on our hands than we normally do if you're out of work, etc. But normally, let's say it's a regular work day and you work a 9 to 5. So you get up in the morning and you want to make this part of your morning routine. If it's meditation for 20 minutes and you need to fit it in before work, which is what I advise, I recommend, then we need to just simply wake up 20 minutes earlier. It'll be worth it. Or go to bed 20 minutes earlier so you don't lose on that 20 minutes of sleep. Believe it or not, meditating for 20 minutes is far more beneficial than sleeping for 20 minutes because you will be so much more awake. And this is why I recommend having a cup of coffee before you meditate. That might sound counterproductive, Rob. If I want to become still and I have a cup of coffee, I'm just going to be all jittery. Not in this technique. If you're a coffee lover, you're going to love this technique. Or tea. Hey, what's up, Renja? Glad to have you on. Good to see you. So, you insert it in your morning routine, Melissa, and you make it part of your habit. It's so important to do so. Because if it doesn't become part of your routine, it'll never become a habit. It'll never become part of your lifestyle. So you have to schedule it, and you have to stick to that commitment. So there's commitment, there's scheduling, and then committing. And even before that, now I remember what I wanted to come on here and say today. Sometimes it takes me a few minutes to wake up. A challenge for me to wake up at 6 a.m. to do your routine. Well, that might interfere with my staying up till 3 a.m. actually. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Of course, I'm self-employed, so I have the luxury of setting my own hours. But getting back to Melissa's question. So we have here motivation and cannot silence the mind. Yes, two important things. So I think to get back to the original reason of motivation, well, what motivates you to meditate is your why. Why do you meditate? We have to ask ourselves why. We have over 100 people joining the group every single day, and I think it's awesome. We just crossed the 10,000 member threshold last week, and now we're getting over 100 people at a clip every single day, and you'd be surprised at how many posts I decline in the group. There's so much spam, guys. I like to curate a very focused meditation group. You won't find this in other groups. A lot of other groups allow a lot of weird stuff in their meditation stuff. I like to keep it meditation, mindfulness. This is not a yoga group. This is not whatever. But anyway, so I had a new member come in the group the other day, and he asked, something about meditation. And I first asked him, well, what are you trying to get out of your meditation? What is your goal? What is your why? Why do you meditate? And this is just classic stuff for anything in life. If we don't know our why, if we don't have a reason, a good enough reason, you're not going to have the motivation that's going to sustain you for a long period of time. So, type in your why. Why do you meditate? Let's do a little exercise here. Why do you meditate? What do you want to get out of it? And feel free to just throw out the first idea that comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be the one that you stick with forever. And this is a very important thing because our why can and should change over time as to why we meditate. In the beginning, you just might be attracted to it. It just might seem cool. Like, oh, okay, yeah, meditation seems cool. I don't know why necessarily, but there's just this intuitive attraction to a picture of the Buddha in perfect peace, the half-closed eyelids, the serene face, that little twinkle in the eye. Whatever it might be, there's something that attracts you to it. For some, they're looking for a way to overcome stress, overcome anxiety. For others, here we go. Melissa says, and I hope you don't mind me reading this out, to be a better person, especially to myself and to clear my mind. Are you a bad person, Melissa? I kid. To tear down walls I've built in my head. Now we're getting to it. Now we're getting to it. And see, every time you start with why, you'll come up with a deeper and deeper and deeper reason. And I think it's good to analyze our why. No, yeah, I know you're not a bad person. I'm just teasing you. But to become a better person, oftentimes we get frustrated with ourselves because we react, right? We get angry for the littlest things, or we worry, or we're anxious for no reason. And believe me, I get it. So, okay, these are good reasons to tear down walls I've built in my head. I like that one because ultimately that sums up the previous desire to become a better person, especially to myself, and to clear my mind. Yes, because what is this person? Who are you? You have to ask yourself this question. Who are you? Yeah. That's a good one to contemplate. That's a good one to ponder. And in fact, that is one particular method of yoga. Meditation is a method of yoga. Now I'm talking about yoga as a path to self-discovery. Yoga as a pathway to liberation. Yoga as a pathway to enlightenment. Not yoga pants. Although I am a big fan of yoga pants, don't get me wrong. So I don't wear them personally, but okay, gotcha. Yes. Well, absolutely. You got to take care of number one. Melissa says, I'm a helper and often forget self-love. Right. It's like you have to put on the oxygen mask on yourself before you can put on the oxygen mask to your the person sitting next to you, right? That old airplane analogy. This is important. How effective are you at helping other people unless you yourself are free to help? And if we're lost in the quagmire of our own mess, then surely we cannot be much help to others. And so, yes, this is why I like this technique of single-pointed mind. I don't know if you've tried this technique yet, Melissa, but we're about to do the guided meditation. What it is a method of concentration and a method of discipline. What this does is it helps to clear the mind. The mind is, I talk about this every day. Ashley can attest to this because he's been my dedicated watcher here for the last few weeks, which I very much appreciate. And you can attest to this, Ash, right? I say the same shit every day, don't I? Because it's true. We are lost in a quagmire of mind, of thoughts. And this is simply due to habit. We're habitual thinkers. Now you might say, well, is thinking bad? Well, it is if you want to become clear. Remember, everything is in context. This is why it goes back to our why. If you don't know why you're meditating, and I can't tell you your why, of course there are classic reasons why people meditate. To find God, truth, liberation, enlightenment, reality, whatever you want to call it, light, consciousness, to the path of self-discovery, which I guess you could sum up as becoming better. Meditation is a process of evolution, spiritual evolution. We constantly refine ourselves. We don't define ourselves, we refine ourselves to become a more pure vessel, so that what we are seeking to remember, what we're seeking to remind ourselves with, can be more easily integrated into our daily lives. Yes, indeed. So, this is the process of single-pointed mind concentration, is to develop a discipline and to hold our mind, our attention, our awareness on a single point. Because what this does is it trains, it creates a new habit of clarity, of purity. What is pure and clear? Well, I drank all my water, so I don't have something to demonstrate, but this glass is clear, and you can see through it. The light shines through it. Yes. So the mind should be like clear and pure water. The problem is that all the collection of thoughts, the collection of memories, our histories, our identity, everything that we think we are and we've become is clouding the mind with dirt, debris. And this causes limitation. This causes judgment. This causes the likes, the dislikes, the attractions, the aversions. This causes all of these conditions, and thus, therefore, causes these states of mind that are limited. So to be the best person you can be, we need to be unlimited. Truly reach our unlimited potential. Now, at a certain point, we wake up and we realize, my, I am just a collection of thoughts. I am just I'm a history of who I think I've been. All the memories of what I've done up to this point has made me who I am. And then we forget. We forget that we are pure consciousness, pure awareness. So meditation is a way to get back, Jojo, back to our purity, back to our original native state, which is stillness. The ability to become still, which is why I call this technique the 5 steps to stillness, is because we need to get still the part that is the activity. So to go back to your original reason, silencing the mind. And this can be done. Don't let the naysayers tell you that it cannot be done, because it absolutely can be done. But it takes the ability to concentrate. It takes the ability to focus and hold your mind on one point. And what we're doing is just as we can, let me give you an example. Just as we can keep our body still, we can also keep our minds still. It's just a little more challenging because we're just not used to doing it. Our mind, remember when you were a kid and you couldn't sit still and you had so much energy and you're just running around? It's just couldn't keep still, couldn't sit down, right? It was very difficult. Couldn't sit still at the desk. And so it's no different. Your mind is like a little kid. Not you, but most people's, everyone's. Because we haven't worked on it. Now, not everyone is like that. Some people who have had technical careers work on their minds constantly. Artists, programming, computer programmers, architects, engineers, mathematicians, professional musicians, people who work with their mind and concentration on a continual basis do have a developed mind that they can focus and concentrate with. So what happens is that when we sit down to become still, I love that sound. When we sit down to become still, what we realize is our mind is extremely restless. And what it is that our attention is wandering from distraction to distraction. So again, this is simply a habit because we haven't worked out. We haven't worked out the mind. The mind is out of shape. Therefore, it's just wandering all over the place. So what this meditation technique that I'm about to share with you is a way of training. It's a way of exercising the mind. So let's get to it. We're going to do 5 steps to stillness. And each progressive step brings you into a more and more still state. Now, you could just jump right into step 5, which is just pure meditation. But it would be much more challenging, and it's going to take some time to settle down anyway. So why not? There's two things that are going on in this meditation. Why not develop your concentration? Your concentration is a muscle. It takes willpower. Every time you try to focus on one point and you notice the mind wander, you have to bring it back to that point and hold it there. This requires some effort in the beginning. But what this will do is it will strengthen your ability to do this, that carries over to your daily life. So you become stronger with daily practice so that you get better over time. It's no different than anything else. You become more adept, you become more proficient, you gain the skill required to do the process with practice over time. And this is why it's so important. So yes, you have to have meditation as part of your morning routine. The motivation comes from your why factor. For me, it's like, if I don't meditate, I know that I won't be that better person that I can be when I do meditate. We all have our quirks and our challenges, right? We all have our tendencies, and these are the habits we've accumulated from our parents, from our families, from societies. It's like, I just want to get back to, the pure me. What am I? Who am I? So, when you sit down to meditate, you want to be very, very still. It is a process of training. We have to approach it no different than we would with exercise. And so let's get to the exercising, shall we? 5 steps to stillness. What we do is we begin. If you haven't printed one of these bad boys out yet, no worries. Go ahead and print it out after the video, and then you can use it for tomorrow. But the yantra is a way to focus on that little dot in the center with your eyes. What this does is it warms up your concentration. Because the yantra is a very easy target to focus on. The chakras are a little more subtle, and it may be difficult in the beginning to feel the chakras. This is totally normal. Okay, so step 1, we focus with our eyes in an open-eyed concentration exercise known as gazing. And what this will do is it will warm up your concentration. Your ability to hold your visual sense on a single point. When the visual senses wander, you bring it back to that central dot. The goal is to only keep that central dot of the yantra within your vision, within your mind, ultimately, within your attention. So what we're doing is we're warming up. We're learning how to keep our attention on a single object. This is known as single-pointed mind. And this is what I teach, this is what I do, because I feel like it's the most beneficial thing to begin with. Because we're sitting down, our mind is naturally just going through its myriad tendencies of wandering and meandering. So with the visual focus device, we hone our minds and bring it to a single point. That warms up our concentration. Now we take that exact same ability and then we move it into the chakras. But with the chakras, we're not visually looking at them. We're not imagining them. We're feeling them. And, as long as the chakras provide consent, then it's okay. So what we want to do is we want to feel the chakra. This ability to feel is a lost art. This is the ability to feel energy. And it doesn't use any of the 5 senses. Now, what we do is we begin by focusing on that spot with the touch of a finger in the physical location of where that chakra is. Now, the chakras are actually in your energy body. There is another dimension to our being. We are multidimensional beings. So we have a physical body, we have an energetic body. This energy body is also called the emotional body. It's also called the aura. It's also called the subtle physical body. Oh, you can get the yantra at the top of the group, Melissa. It's downloadable, and it's in the announcements section at the top. Announcement number 1, to be exact. Go up there. You can print it out. Put it up on your wall. If you're like me, when I sit down to meditate, I like to sit in a chair. It's very important to have a good posture. So, when I sit in the chair, my back is straight. It's like I have a book on the top of my head that I'm trying to balance, right? Now, I like to meditate in a chair because it's very comfortable. You don't want to just sit back in the chair like this and meditate, okay? That's not conducive to good meditation. You want to sit on the edge of your seat, anticipating, exciting. Oh, what's going to happen? You know, I'm extremely alert. Oh, me. You understand? You're on the edge of the seat, on your butt bones, back straight, good posture. Now, if you like to sit on the ground, cross-legged or on a cushion, great. You can put the yantra on a little table in front of you, prop it up with a bunch of books, boom, 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 and then just lay the yantra flat. Or if you get one of those frames that have a little stand in the back, that's a good way to put it there. So, okay, so what we're doing with steps 2, 3, and 4 of the 5 steps to stillness is we're focusing on feeling these 3 primary chakras. You've got the navel chakra, which is related to power and the physical planes. See, when I say power, I have to do that with my eyes. This is what conveys its meaning. And then you have love, love. And then you have wisdom and knowledge. Yes, wisdom, knowledge, math, geometry, all the constants of life. So you've got power, balance, or love, and then wisdom and knowledge. These are the 3 main components. You don't want to have too much emphasis on one, or without power, nothing happens. This is why when you turn on your computer, what do? You turn on the power. Without electricity flowing to that machine, not much is going to happen, right? So, we're like a machine. We're a form, we're a unit, we have a mechanism. Okay, so within the subtle physical body, within this energy body, there are channels, and sort of like our nervous system, how our nervous system is a brain, spinal column, and then all the nerve, what do you call them? The nervous system extends out like branches, like veins throughout the body, and then we can feel, right? So on an energetic level, we have a main central channel called the Sushumna. You can call it the main central channel if that makes more sense to you. But in Sanskrit, it's called the Sushumna. This is where the 7 primary chakras are. Actually, it goes up to the 3rd eye. Beyond that, there's the crown chakra, which is the 7th chakra. We don't really focus on that too much. That opens up and awakens when we go into high advanced states of meditation called samadhi. Samadhi is complete absorption in light, complete absorption in consciousness, complete absorption. When we go into samadhi, we are no longer here. Because who are we anyway? Who are we? There's an intelligence to life that was here before us, that will be here after us. This is what we seek to unite with, to remember, because it has all of this in it, beyond it. You see? You can't really lose yourself because you were never there. You can't really lose yourself because everything that was so great about everything in your life, all the love, all the pleasure, all the good times, is like nothing compared to that experience of rejoining with, call it nirvana, enlightenment, God, bliss, ecstasy beyond comprehension is available for you, my friend. Okay, enough with the silliness. So, the 3 primary chakras we focus on, you want to be very sensitive. You want to open up what's called your ability to feel. I call it the 6th sense, because beyond the 5 senses, our awareness has the ability to feel or sense energy, non-physical energy. Okay, so we begin with the navel chakra, and you'll feel, boom, that sense of raw physical power, which is why it's close to you know where. And then we move up, and we transmute, and we transcend. Oh my God, my heart. And then we open up our heart chakra and we feel the heart chakra. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that your chakras will open on the first time. This is simply due to the fact that our energy bodies have become very numb. They're basically dormant for most people because we haven't focused on them. You know, I use this analogy a lot, not to show off my muscles, but okay, look at this bicep. Here we go. The reason why I have this is because I've focused on it. I've built it with repetition after repetition. Starting to see the picture? So when I focus on a chakra, repetition after repetition of holding it there, concentrating on it, feeling it, it awakens. It reawakens. It opens. It becomes alive. It fortifies. Your energy body can become strong. It can become just like your physical body, to the point where you're completely aware of how to move your physical body. But our energy body it's been ignored. That's all. That's all it is. It's a part of our anatomy. It's important to know your anatomy. If you don't know your anatomy, how are you going to know what to focus on? How are you going to know what to concentrate on? So the chakras are in our energy body. Although when we place our fingertips on the spot, it allows our attention to go to a certain location that is close to. Now remember, your attention is non-physical. Your attention, your awareness, is multidimensional. It can move. The problem is that it's stuck in the senses. You starting to see what's going on now? It's stuck in the thoughts. Just simply because of habit. These tendencies that we have to think all the time. These tendencies that we have to use our eyes all the time. So that when you close your eyes and you try to focus on something, you'll notice that all your attention is here in the frontal lobe. It's in your eyes. It's just because it's used to being there. It's a habit. So these are the tendencies that we're overcoming with this particular technique. Okay? And then we finish with the fourth step at the third eye. So what we have is the abdomen, the thorax, and the head. Power, balance, and wisdom. These are the three main parts and palettes of this particular meditation technique. This is the complete self. And I look at it as the physical, emotional, and mental dimensions. These three dimensions are very easy to connect with once we start to get familiar with them. And what we begin to see is that we are very vast. We are deep. We are more than just bodies. That our minds, our attention, our awareness can go very deep. So when you're feeling these chakras, you want to probe their depths. You want to, once you've done this for a while and you start to feel a little sensation, go into that sensation. Where's the center of it? You know, you don't necessarily think this. It's not about thinking, it's about feeling. And you'll get very good at feeling. And this ability to feel is your sixth sense. Like six, TH. Sixth sense, right? It's not part of the five senses. It's part of your intuition. It's part of your psychic ability, your ability to move beyond the five senses. The ability to feel is your ability to experience bliss, your ability to experience multi-dimensional reality. So this awakens us beyond our limitations. Then we move up to the third eye, knowledge and wisdom. By this point we're very still and our thoughts have slowed down. And what will happen is you're still battling the tendencies of mind because they are habits, and old habits don't die easy, right? So this is why the training, when we focus and concentrate, must have a certain amount of intensity, must have a certain amount of effort. Now it doesn't have to be such an intensity that we're, it's better termed commitment. You have to commit to holding it there as if it's the most important thing. As if you let your mind wander, bad things will happen. You have to kind of like really focus with intensity. Now in the beginning, I like to use a lot of intensity on step 1, a lot of intensity on step 2, with my yantra and my navel. By the time I move up to these are some pro tips. By the time I move up to the heart chakra, I'm kind of letting it go a little easier, because it's by then you've become more still. You don't have to focus so hard. In the beginning, it might be difficult to feel the chakras. And all you're doing is just trying to hold your attention on that spot. Like, oh, I can't feel anything. But yet, so what you do in that situation is you can use your fingertip to remind you again where to return to with your attention. Okay? So don't be afraid to, oh, I can't feel anything. Okay, now I remember how to feel it. And hey guys, I got a little extra tip. Lick the finger, touch the third eye. Now you can feel it. Okay, I know it's gross, but whatever. Get used to it. Or deal with it, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I can still feel it. Okay, you can use water if you want. So, we move on to step 5. Now you can use essential oils, you can use all kinds of things. Anything that helps you focus on your chakras is beneficial. Okay? Because I understand, it is challenging, but you have to have some faith with this. This technique is extraordinarily powerful. This technique unlocks the Kundalini energy. Ah, the Kundalini, the good old Kundalini, Rob. Tell us about that. Well, sure, my friend, I'll tell you all about it. The Kundalini is the energy that resides and lays dormant and latent at the root chakra, the base chakra, the chakra that is at the base of the spine. And it is said that the Kundalini is like a serpent that is all coiled up. And you have to, hello, hey, serpent, Mr. Snaky, what, yeah? You wanna come up here to my heart chakra? Well, okay, focus on your heart chakra. I'll be glad to come up there. Tell me where it is. All right, that's not actually how it happens. But when you focus on the chakra, the energy will rise to that point. And when the Kundalini rises, and it does so through what's called the Sushumna, this central channel. Remember, in the energy body, you have many different channels, many different meridians. When you do acupuncture, this is what you're stimulating. The energy, or chi, to flow to that particular point to assist with healing. When you have a healthy energy body, you will have a healthy physical body. You know, they've linked things like anger, to disease. You know, because these emotions we store in our energy body, and they become blocks, they become contractions. So you may face a lot of energetic contractions, a lot of energetic blocks when you try to focus on these chakras. Have no fear, have no worries. This is completely normal. What you need is simply a faith, the ability to know that if I just keep holding my attention here, that there will eventually be a breakthrough. The energy itself from holding still on a particular point, where you hold your awareness, energy will attract. Because there's energy all over the place. You're just a mass of energy. So what we're seeking to do is hone, refine, and bring our energy to a fine point. Okay? So, boom, step 4. Then we move into step 5, the final step of the 5 steps to stillness, where in step 5, we relinquish all concentration, we relinquish all control, and we simply surrender. Surrendering is a process that a lot of people fear. Oh, I'm not going to surrender. Me surrender? I'll never surrender. Okay, and all this foolish silliness. What we're doing is we're just letting go of the control, the contracted, controlled ego that we've become, this energetic ball, this knot. It's a knot of self. We have to untie the knot. And when we untie the knot, it becomes open. And it's only through this opening, through this faith, through this letting go of this contraction, through this letting go and the control, that we can then merge. And then this part of ourselves that's been the problem all along, these thoughts, these tendencies, all these things mucking up the waters, everything settles and becomes clear. And then the light shines right through the water. And then we merge with the light. Light is just what we are. Everything is energy. You can call it light, you can call it energy. But when you focus up on the third eye and in the fifth step, you might actually see this transcendental light. This is a good indicator that you are reaching what's called higher dimensions, causal dimensions. This is what consciousness is. When you get up to the higher dimensions, when you raise your frequency. See, the only way we can enter into higher dimensions is by raising our energy, which raises our frequency, so that we can break out of the box, the 3D box, the third dimension, the physical realm, the material realm, stuck in the senses. It takes some energy. It takes some energy to lift off. It's like the rocket. A rocket requires so much push, so much energy just to escape the gravitational pull of Earth, right? But then once it gets out of the gravitational pull and it gets up into the atmosphere, it just floats. And then momentum will move it through space or whatever you believe. And so this is a great analogy because it requires a lot of energy and effort in the beginning to break out of the gravity of our current situation, the gravity of our attachments to the senses. And, so step 5, we dissolve. We let go. And we become very, very calm and still and peaceful. And then there's a merging, because when we ourselves raise our frequencies, we resonate with the highest frequencies of existence, creation. We live in a multi-dimensional creation. We are multi-dimensional beings. All right, so let's get to those higher dimensions, shall we? You guys have been so good and so patient with my rant today. Thank you so much. I love you all. Let's do this. I'm going to pull up some meditation music, Normally I like to meditate to silence. I feel like it's a little bit more conducive to concentration when we meditate to silence. But I'm afraid that might bore you guys. So, what I'll be doing is launching my private group coaching program very shortly. And I've done this before when I did the last 30-day meditation challenge here in the group. And what that is a coaching program that will teach you how to meditate in this 5 steps to stillness, meditate to silence. We use an app to time each step, so we don't have to use the music. Right now I'm using music to know, okay, step 1 is 1 song, step 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's 5 songs. This helps us time this meditation. But with the app, you can program it to time it with a little bell that goes off. So you can, whatever length of meditation you want to do, 20, 25, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then, each step, you can customize it. If you like to spend a little more time on the heart chakra, which I like to do, and then more time on the third eye, which I like to do, and then more time on the 5th step, which I like to do, then you can program it. You can customize each step. It doesn't have to be exactly 5 or 10 minutes long. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, connecting with my Bluetooth speaker here. So, if you're new to meditation, welcome. If you've done this before, you know what to do. We're going to begin with step 1. So, sit up nice and straight. Maintain a good posture. We want to try to forget about everything right now. Forget about the world. Most importantly, forget about yourself. Forget about what you need to do later or what you did yesterday. We begin by focusing first on the yantra with an open-eyed concentration, holding our attention on that central dot. Take a big deep breath. Let go of all tension. Let go of all contractions. Maintain a good posture, but relax your energy. Open your energy. Feel any energetic contractions right now that you're holding on to. And just try to let those go progressively as we meditate. If you don't have a yantra yet, that's okay. You can just listen to the music, or you can just focus on the video for the step 1. Single pointed focus when we do the open-eyed meditation, you can use any object. So if you just have a favorite object you want to stare at, the idea is that you want to just gaze upon that object and you don't want to think. When you notice yourself, your awareness going back to the thoughts, bring your awareness back to the object. Observe the object without thinking. Okay? Here we go. Okay, now that we've completed our warm-up, just like we do before exercise, and we're ready to focus on the chakras, what we do is we begin with the navel chakra. Step number 2, I'm going to take the fingertip, gently place it about an inch below your belly button, and press gently. Feel the pressure of the fingertip pressing into the area below the navel. Maintain a good posture, but simultaneously relax. Most notably, relax any energetic tension in your energy body. By maintaining a good posture, it'll help open up and create the proper form. When focusing on the navel, you might want to try to feel heat. That's a good indicator that the chakra is opening up. You will notice your mind will tend to wander. These are the tendencies that we're trying to overcome. So we must be very vigilant with holding the mind still, holding our attention still on feeling that chakra. Okay, ready? Remove the finger and continue to hold your attention on feeling that spot. Breathe naturally throughout the entire meditation. Now move your attention up to the heart chakra. Place the fingertips gently in the center of the chest. Feel the gentle pressure of the fingertip pressing into the center of the chest. Use that as the target for your awareness to move toward and hold at. Don't give up. Keep holding the mind on feeling the heart chakra. When you're ready, you can remove the finger and continue to feel that spot. Try to relax any energetic contractions, any energetic tension that you might be holding on to. Breathe naturally and continue to feel that spot. Now move up to the third eye chakra. Gently place the fingertip between the eyebrows and about an inch above. Press lightly and move your attention toward the feeling of the finger on your forehead. As we progress to deeper levels of stillness, it's quite easy to get lazy at this point. At this point, we must try the hardest This is the final point of concentration. This is the springboard that we will jump from into stillness. When you're ready, remove the finger and continue to feel the spot where the finger left an impression. Relax any muscular tension in the face and the forehead. And hold still on feeling the third eye. Now step 5. Maintain the same stillness, but let go of all concentration. Surrender into the stillness. Let go of any muscular tension that might be left over. You want to feel as if you're floating. Let go of any energetic tension or contractions you may feel. Breathe naturally. And just dissolve. Just be still. Very nice. When you're ready, open your eyes, slowly come back to the body. I like to give a nice bow to the universe. So there you have it, a better version of yourself. Here you are. Through practice, we gain mastery. Each and every time we move through one of the steps in the 5 steps, we gain familiarity with the process, and we gain proficiency in the process. Of course, you might feel like you were just getting started, you were just on the edge of becoming still. And that's good, because it sometimes can take. Thank you, Melissa. Absolutely, you're welcome. It sometimes can take 20 minutes just to start getting still. So this is why, for example, the next level of this particular practice would be to extend step 5. To extend step 5 by 5 minutes makes a huge difference. I don't necessarily recommend extending steps 1 through 4 for that much longer. Those are steps that bring you to the point of stillness, that prepare you for step 5. Step 5 is when the meditation truly begins. Prior to step 5, we're concentrating as best we can. And as you've discovered, it's quite challenging to hold your mind still. Yes? This is a good indicator. The reason why I love this meditation technique is because it provides instant feedback as to how well we're doing. We know if we're focusing on that chakra or not. We know if we're being lazy and letting the mind wander or not. And so this gives you instant feedback as to, okay, I better hunker down, step it up, really focus. And so this is why I love this technique. It's because you know how well you really did. You know, there are days when it's easier, and there are days when it's more challenging. This is just natural. But what you bring to it is absolutely within your control. What you bring to the concentrative effort is within your power. And as you gain proficiency over concentrating on a single point, say feeling the chakra, you will develop your willpower. And this willpower is what makes you better. It's what helps you ward off negativity. So this is just a practical aspect of mind. It will help your memory, it'll help your focus, you will retain information better. It's like building muscles of your mind, right? You're stronger mentally. But then you are also purifying, clarifying your energy body as well. Oh, you mean there's more than one benefit to this technique, Rob? Yes, my friend. Which is why I recommend this technique. Because when you focus on your chakras, yes, you're getting the discipline of single-pointed concentration, but you're also awakening and opening and fortifying and bringing the Kundalini energy up. And when this happens, well, you feel pretty darn good. I don't know if anybody is able to feel their chakras open up yet, but once that happens, it's pretty cool. And the good thing is that just as you're building your body in exercise, or you're increasing your endurance with cardio, physical exercise, the effects last. You are actually developing, you are actually fortifying, strengthening, making clear, pure, and healthy your energy body. This energy body is a very important component to our health and our happiness. And it's a very important component to our psychic immunity and our physical immunity. I've talked about this before, that the heart chakra is related to the thymus gland. The thymus gland is one of the glands that produces immune-boosting hormones and chemicals. So each one of the chakras is related to various physical glands that will enhance the vitality and the health of your physical body as well. But when you raise the Kundalini energy and you raise your frequency, and we raise our frequency by making our minds more efficient, by bringing it to a fine point and holding it there, and feeling the subtle energy and holding it there. But we also raise the Kundalini energy, which will very much so enhance the aura. It will very much so raise the frequency, and it will help to fortify, strengthen, enliven, invigorate, and turn on all these switches that have been turned off for so long. The Kundalini is the power that awakens us. It is the power of spiritual transformation. As the Kundalini rises with effort, eventually the Kundalini will always be up in the higher chakras. And then you'll always be turned on. Fully turned on. A fully awakened human being. And so this is the goal of spirituality, to regain our full wakefulness, our true birthright, our limitless. Obviously each aspect and each dimension of our being has its limitations, don't get me wrong. But to unlock, to expand upon, to awaken our dormant capabilities, enriches our lives, brings back the full capability of who and what we truly are. And this to me is full living. If you're not awake, if you're not fully living within the full multi-dimensional spectrum of who you are, well, life can feel very contracted. It can feel very boxed, and we can feel trapped. So each time we meditate and we raise the Kundalini energy, this fortifies, strengthens, and provides an auric force field that is very strong, that can repel any type of negative energy. It's sort of just like you're like a bouncing ball, and it just bounces off the wall. Bing, bing, bing. Nothing can touch you. It also repairs and heals any type of auric damage, and the damage of the emotional body, which can be from being around abusive and angry people all your life, being in hostile situations where people are throwing negative energy and angry energy at you, or if you've indulged too much in negative substance abuse in life, there can be damage in your aura. So when we bring up the Kundalini, we focus and we bring attention. Attention is love. Attention is caring. What's the best thing you can do for someone is to listen, to give them attention. So when we give attention to our energy bodies, we're taking the most care of ourselves that we can. And this will heal. The aura can actually be damaged from, like I said, many different reasons. The aura can have holes in it. The aura can, and this can, the aura is in another dimension. This dimension is something that we talk about. It's the astral dimension. And the astral dimension is full of beings, astral beings, from the highest spectrum of the astral to the lowest spectrum of the astral. And there are oftentimes entities that can collect and stick, and with a vampiric type of energy drain, can hold you down, suck you down. This is why sometimes you feel such a weight on your chest. You got to clear that stuff off. You got to clean it off. And so the Kundalini acts as a way of just whoosh, zapping all that stuff, and the aura is perfectly clean. Over time, it takes some practice, it takes some training, And it takes some time to repair, restore, regenerate, to feel, to awaken, to heal the aura. But once it becomes online, once you regain that dormant or lost part of our being, it enriches our lives in ways that are very, very beautiful. Enhancing our perception, being able to perceive and feel things that we didn't feel or perceive before. And this gives us another dimension to our livelihood, to our being. So, thanks Ashley, appreciate you my brother. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in today's meditation. Tomorrow, day 26, we'll be back again for another one. So, we'll see you then, and you guys take care.